Shadare in It to Win It, and Dr. Derrick, the wonderful person who has put some nonverbal communication images, displays, and explains all the music in those nonverbal communication images. So please pay special attention to that because it will tell us where we are in our unpassive journey. Thank you very much, Dr. Derrick, for putting this together. And I'll pass it over to you so you can go ahead with. We are, we are all passing, shining bright into the future. We rise high with one heart, a revolution. Letting our humanity as we rise, standing tall, happy. We are the unicorn. We are the stars. Oh, in it to win it. In it to win it. Oh, in it to win it. In it to win it. Bringing hope, shining the light. We're a nation, we are rising with one hope, bringing solution, lifting up humanity. Let's rise high, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. Oh, to win it, to win it, to win it. Oh, to win it, to win it. To win it, to win it, to win it, to win
Your next stop is unpassive.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Derrick. Stand clear the closing doors at the train stop of Unpassive. That's amazing. Thank you, our wonderful CEO, Mr. Ash, for giving us that train stop. Well, you saw the images. I could see our our COO, Mr. Mohammed Kamal, Dr. Susan, and all the special events they attended. I'm sure you saw that too. Dr. Derrick, how you do this and you put them together, I don't know, but we appreciate you sharing that with us today. And at this stage, we're moving to the next segment of the next segment of the webinar, which is the mindset. We know that the physical one has been promised by our CEO, and we have to work on our individual mental mindsets by ourselves. So Queen JW, our wonderful sister from the island of, no, she's yeah, I just forgot that island. It's not St. Lucia. I will bring it up, Queen JW. I have not forgotten. I know where you are. So I have to remember that. I've done this for so many years. Queen JW, our wonderful international inspirational speaker, is an entrepreneur. She's a talk show host, and she's a mom and a wonderful Unpassivian. She's going to talk to us today, a continuation of a topic she started 3 weeks ago, and today is the part 3 of it, of why are we sick? Why are we sick is the topic that she started 3 weeks ago and is continuing today, part 3. Queen JW, keep smiling and please let us know why we are sick. I am so anxious. I have my pen and pencil ready to make my notes. Actually, pen and paper, because the pencil disappears very fast. So I have pen, so it lasts longer. Over to you, Queen JW, and thank you for always gracing us with your time.
Well, I'm here. Good evening, or like Queen Dr. Debbie will say, good afternoon, good morning, and it all depends on your location. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Dr. Derrick. Thank you, Queen Debbie, for that amazing introduction. Thank you to the brand ambassadors, that always show up, that support me. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all the other leaders. I can't see myself, but I hope you can hear me well.
We can hear you loud and clear, and you are in St. Martin, right?
No, I'm in South Carolina with my grandkids.
Oh, okay. We can hear you loud and clear, so please proceed. My apologies.
No problem. Thank you so much, so much, so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. And yes, we're going to be talking why we are sick. And I know in part 1 we talk about those 4 things that actually made us sick with was that we were overloaded with toxins and there was nutritional deficiencies and that we are exposed to um, negative active electromagnetic fields, and we are trapped in our mental and emotional stress. And that was part 1. And then in part 2, we started to talk about what toxins was actually, and who were the culprits behind us even having to deal with such a miserable and madness, and where we have to worry about what we eat and what we shouldn't eat and what we should do and what we shouldn't do. So they just made it more complicated while they are filling their pockets. So it's not about us. It's not about our health. They're not concerned about that. They're concerned about, their legacy and how much money they can make. And it doesn't matter who gets sick and who dies. That's not the issue here. It's all about profit. And so and the reason I bring this information, because it's not just about hey, I go into the supermarket and I don't. Jackie said, don't read my label and don't do this and don't do that. But I want to take it a little deeper for you to understand the reason that you will be able to make the reason behind the whole madness. So we have been brainwashed, we have been lied to, and it's time to turn that around and take our health into our own hands. Not saying throw the doctors away, because the poor doctors, they just go along with what they have been trained. They don't have anything to do with the pharmaceutical and the FDA and the FCC. They don't have anything to do with that. They just comply with the orders given. They have orders too. They have a big boss. Except for those who decide, hey, this is not right, and I'm going to do the right thing by the people and for the people. That's what it's supposed to be all about. So that's the reason for me bringing this information up, is for you to get a deeper understanding, and that way you can make your own choice. You won't say, well, I'll think about it. I don't have enough money to purchase the right food right now. Maybe I'll wait till I get money from on passive. That's not the idea. That's not the focus. That's not it at all. The whole thing is your health. And um, Dr. T has spoken on it. King DrDerrick has spoken on it. Queen Julie Pear has touched on it last night again, letting us know that our health is wealth. That's where you come. It's not about the money, because if you don't have your health, you're not gonna be able to spend the money anyway. You're gonna be giving it away till you don't have any, and then somebody got to come and pick up if they decide to say if you're eligible or not. They still hold the rope. You got to now take the rope off, and you're gonna take control. So part 3 that I will be sharing with you is one of the areas, which is what goes in the body. So that have a direct relationship still to the toxicity in the body. So keep in mind that the natural state of the human body is vibrant health. God didn't make this body. He don't make mistakes. He didn't make the body to fall apart, and lest he would have said it don't make no sense even creating it if it can't work, if it can't function the way it's supposed to function. So he doesn't make a mistake. The mistake came because of man greed and power and money. So that's where all the problem comes in. So you have any type of discomfort, illness, disease, or sickness, your body is out of balance. That's the down bottom line. Okay, we can't put it no other way. And it's not that you directly did it to yourself, it was done to us. And now that we know that it's being done, we have the opportunity to turn things around. Just like we prayed for God to turn our life around. Now we are taking control to turn the things that we can turn around, to start turning it around. Okay? So remember, when our body pH is alkaline, we don't have to worry about feeling sick, being sick, or developing diseases. But when it's acidic, then the body is susceptible to illness and disease. Now, toxic gets into the body through our mouth, our nose, our eyes, our ears, and of course the skin. And you know that. Anything you put on top of the skin goes in. Anything you breathe in through your nose goes in. Anything that you take into your eyes, even seeing something can be dangerous to us. Your nose, your mouth, especially. So we're going to start with the mouth. So let me start with what we put in our mouths that cause us to sick. What we put in our mouths should be close to nature as possible, as God intended it to be. Okay? So in other words, if man make it, we should not eat it. As of today, virtually all our fruits and vegetables have been genetically modified to be disease-free. Why? So they can last longer till we buy them, or that they don't get any weevils and worms and everything, eat them up, so the crops will be destroyed, and the fruit industry or the meat industry, all of those industries lose money when things is not in plentiful. Okay, the whole fact is to use less to gain more. And, but on passive, our CEO ain't using less to gain more. He's using top-notch equipment. He's using new ideas. He ain't borrowing from nobody. It's all organic. Okay, he's starting from the very bottom when he makes his products. That means that the farmers today are using chemical fertilizers, they're using chemical pesticides and herbicides for producing more for their financial gain. So it's all about money. Also, just a tip, just to let you know that, because you're probably wondering, what are the things that we breathe in? Just think about airplanes that fly overhead. Do you think it's safe for our environment? Of course not. Why? Because there's a chemtrail. And that chemical residue of the chemtrail falls down from the sky, and then we breathe it in to our bodies. The rainwater is also infected, which contaminates the water supply that are used for the irrigation of the food that we consume on a daily basis. So the phrase processed food sounds mechanical and alarming. More the reason we should not eat anything that comes in a box, jar, or can. What is even more alarming is that the food industry puts tens of thousands of chemical ingredients which are not listed on the label. Isn't that a shame? When we thinking we just, okay, it's already hard for us to read what is there, but just think of tens of thousands that's our ingredients, bad ingredients that are placed into those canned jars and boxes, even the frozen TV dinners that we don't even know about. And that's what is alarming. And this is not to scare you, because I don't want to scare nobody. But the whole thing is for you to be aware, because that's why God talk about knowledge. A lot of people are dying of cancer. For what reason? They can live. Dr. T. Ford is a perfect testimony before us all. You can live. You don't have to die. I remember as a kid in my grandmother's home growing up, I heard that, they were going to the moon. That when J.F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King time, they were going to the moon to find a cure for cancer. And did they find it yet? When our Heavenly Father said, the leaf of the tree is for the healing of the nation. But we were brainwashed. Not only us, our foreparents, our forefathers, they were brainwashed too. So it was easy for us to fall right in that category and keep on carrying it along, but it got to stop somewhere. Because generation after generation will face this same disaster. Diabetes, heart attacks, cancer. It got to stop. And so we might have to go back to old school. Or we might have to work all together like those people in the blue zone. We got to do something. That's all I know. We got to do something. Anyway, we can honestly say that, when we think of an apple today, do we think it has the same nutritional value as an apple 50 years ago? I would say no way. No way, no way. No way. Oh gosh, it's hard when you're working with two screens. Oh no, I'm going too far. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Okay. Definitely not. Why? Because the apple today is loaded with toxic chemicals which lessen its nutritional value. So when they finish put all these chemicals to keep the apple alive and to keep it disease free and keep the bugs and all the worms from eating up their crop, it's loaded with toxic and it don't have the amount of nutrition that it needs to give our body what it needs. So, and most likely we will have to eat probably 10 times to equal the amount of our foreparents when they from the apple 50 years ago. And maybe that's why you see a lot of people going and getting these supplements because they know that, hey, this apple don't have enough nutritional value to really, and not only the apple, all our vegetables, all our fruits, they don't. The nutritional value has disappeared. Even though they make their beautiful pyramid with your grains and this and all that is just mumbo jumbo. Because still those people on the WIC program, they're not picking up organic. They're not allowed to maybe pick up organic. I know when I was on WIC, I wasn't picking up organic for sure. Okay, you had to get exactly what they said. That's on the WIC coupon. So imagine, and that's why I said we've been lied to, we've been brainwashed. I have to turn things around, you know. So that's why it's highly recommended that our fruits and our vegetables are organically grown, including our grains, such as our rice and wheat. For instance, in America, as opposed to other countries, everything we put in our mouth is toxic or contain toxins. That's a shame. And that's why it's stated in the word that there is good and bad in everything. So this should not be new to us. That these things are bad. You know, God, you know, in the word also that, you know, I don't know if he said it directly or indirectly, but it said man will destroy himself. But not only himself, he's destroying others, you know, because of financial gain, because of money, and because of wealth. Their focus is wealth. Their focus is not humanity, like our CEO Ash Mafara. He said you know, we want to lift humanity. We want to help our brothers and sisters, you know, children not having clean water to drink and people can't get $1 and $2 a week to live on. Some can't even buy a bag of rice. That's what you call uplifting humanity, caring for our brothers and sisters. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Anyway, let me continue. So let's not forget the word that is inspired by Jehovah to use as our guide in all aspects of our lives. This also applies to the poisons, meats we consume on a daily basis. These are things we put in our mouths, you know? Even if you want to eat it or you don't eat it, it's still poison. So we gotta do something about that. We can't let that go on. We can't continue to kill ourselves, you know? So remember, the meat industry needs to produce meat quickly and cheaply too. So they will cut corners to make a big profit at our expense. So more reason for us to eat grass-fed meats or no meats at all. Remember that these animals are fed a man-made diet of corn. They are injected with growth hormone and antibiotics for unsanitary and inhumane conditions to prevent sickness. But what you think to these animals when all this is going on? You think they are healthy? You don't think just like we get our system become unbalanced? Don't you think these animals' system also become unbalanced? They do. They become unbalanced. And what you think? We eat that unbalanced food, that unbalanced flesh, that unbalanced meat, and we already is unbalanced, and we just making our system more unbalanced. Your immune system can't fight when it's weak. It can't fight. The body was made to fight. Battery savers on. Our immune system was made for fight. God set it up that it could fight bacteria and viruses that comes our way. But it is unbalanced and it is weak in all different and genetically areas. Don't you think it can fight anymore? It can't fight. And that's what makes us susceptible to diseases and illnesses. So just keep in mind, these animals are not raised in their natural environment. That means they're not walking around the yard or the field, or even the barn. They're not walking around. They're actually enslaved for the gain of profits by greedy individuals. So just keep in mind that all these toxins are being ingested by us, causing illness and disease. So whatever is being pumped into the animals is transferred to those who eat the meat. So use wisdom and live disease-free. I don't know how to move this thing without it giving me heartache. Anyway, the next thing, what you think? Dairy products. You think those are good? Number one, when you look at the animals, they drink milk maybe for one, let's say 3 to 4 weeks. You already see the mama trying to get away from them and say it's time. I look at the bird being raised in my tree, in my banana tree, and I was like, when are you going to get out of there? Because I need to pick them, but I couldn't chase the bird. So I had to let it raise its young until it was time. And after a while, I just look at it and you could see it start to fence for itself. The mother brought food, but after a while, the mother didn't come back no more. And that bird had to fence for itself. And so, milk is not something that you got to drink for the rest of your life to get strong bones. That's a lie. And strong teeth. Because it does just the opposite. So, also, we continue to growth hormone injected in animals cause early puberty and obesity in our children. So it's of great importance that we take the toxins that we put into our bodies and the bodies of our families seriously before sickness and disease become our portion. Remember, if it's not organic and man-made, don't eat it. But like DrDerrick always say, we do have choice. So you can eat it if you want. And now, what about our dairy products? They fall under the same condition due to the drugs used, pasteurization, homogenation. That too, that's a terrible one. My computer just doing the most for me today. But that's okay. Growth hormone and homogenization, causing a major concern today. We were brainwashed to believe that milk will build strong bones and teeth. When milk, Lord help me, Lord, to get this thing to move right. When milk is actually doing the opposite. Pasteurization is when milk is heated at a high temperature to kill bacteria, and it also kills the living enzymes in the milk. So when this method is used, the milk becomes harder to digest in the body. But what is most dangerous is the homogenization, okay? So how does homogenization came into play? It's because the milk spoiled too fast and the food industry was losing money. So what actually takes place in the homogenization is the milk is spinned at a very highly rate, breaking down the clusters of molecules within the milk, so separation of the cream and the milk would not take place. So this process prolongs the shelf life of the milk for about 2 weeks before going bad. Just know that the clusters of the molecules are so small that when ingested, they scar the arteries. And then, of course, they clog our digestive system, making it difficult to digest food, which is one of the major causes of acid reflux, obesity, allergies, constipation, okay? And probably more added, never know. So the scarring of the arteries caused the LDL cholesterol to attach itself to the arteries, which cause the arteriosclerosis, which is the major cause of heart disease. So as I conclude, because I know there's many more toxins that I can talk about. You know, we got our tap water, we got the pollution, and we got so many other things that actually, that I will talk later on about in part 4. The things that we breathe into our nose and our ears and our skin. We're going to touch a little bit on that, but I don't want to overload you. But I give you something that you can, you know, give thought to and think about and research and see, why do I need to take control of my health? So I can see how what we put in our mouths can be so dangerous to our well-being. So I think whatever we do, let's take our health in, you know, I think put it first, put our health first. We have to put it first. Besides God, we put God first and we can put our health second, in other words, because you're going to need Him to help us to make these changes that we need to make, that we have to make. It's not even a need, it's almost like we have to make them. If we want our health, if we want our children and our grandchildren to live healthy lives. I remember telling y'all, I think the week before about my sister not feeling well, to tell you up to this day, she's still out of whack. She's still not feeling well. She just went to the hospital yesterday again because her body is out. And I suggested to her things to thing. I even suggested, hey, find a holistic doctor in your area. But sometimes you could take the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. Everybody has to make their own individual decision. And I think when it comes to your health, you really got to do something now, because what they're doing to our foods, to our waters, to our environment, it's all falling apart. And we're falling apart with it. We have to take the initiative. We have to say, you know what, this is it. I can't afford to go home. Like I always say, I want to be called home. A lot of people is going home immaturely, and it all stems from what we put in our mouth. Don't talk about the things that we can't even control. The things we can't control, we have to leave it in the hands of the Lord. But let me tell you, the things that we can't control, yes, we can. When we go into the supermarket, God is not the one going into the supermarket and putting the things in your shopping cart. No, He's not. You know, you came from a home where your parents cook a meal. It didn't matter if they worked a 3 to 11 shift. Some of us, when we got home, that meal was there. And we didn't drink no whole bunch of sodas and all this crap that we see being done today. And we know the sodas are not healthy. Even Coca-Cola was made from cocaine back in the days. They only banned it. I can't even remember, in 19 something they banned it. Okay, but that don't mean that sodas the caramel coloring. We talk about all these things. When I pick up anything and I see caramel coloring, I put it down. I say, ooh, it got that caramel coloring. So the things I'm teaching you, I'm teaching myself. And I'm taking heed. I ain't perfect now. I ain't got it all right. But every time I make a decision, hey, Jackie, I'm cutting this out. And I cut it out. Because enough is enough. I got to live. I want to be around for my grandkids. I want to see them graduate. I want to see them get jobs. Did y'all hear Lily Lane's amazing story with Julie? You know what I mean? So look, even our CEO, it's about health. It's not about wealth. It's about our health, and we have to really take it serious. But I thank y'all for your listening ear. I thank you for coming every week and supporting me. I appreciate it. I even thank Dr. Derrick for allowing me, because you know what? You make me challenge myself to find something every Thursday to bring to the table. And this topic here is an ongoing topic. I could stay on this topic for God knows until God knows when. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Debbie, Queen Debbie, um, Dr. Benny, Dr. Tanisha Ford. I appreciate all of you. And thank you, Derrick, for allowing me to speak on this platform. And thank you most of all to the brand ambassadors. Love you guys.
Wow, Queen JW, we love you too. We love you for your dedication, and regardless of what's going with you, when you're going through in your personal life, you still find the time to do your research and share your knowledge with us. We appreciate you. We'll continue to pray for your sister that all goes well as you spend time with your grandchildren. So next time we hear from you, we're going to get some good news. But sometimes some of those, the stubbornness that she gets, you have it too, but in a subtle way, and we don't know it. That's why you're able to continue to help them, right? It's your own way of exhibiting your stubbornness, not just to the family, but to all of us who happen to know you through this and other forums brought to us to, and what brought us together on passing. Thank you so much. And you're welcome, Queen JW. Why are we sick? Oh my goodness. I listened to all of what you said. I didn't know that meat is poison. The way you say it, it looks so different how I perceive it. And then the dairy aspect of it and the growth hormones and all. Coca-Cola, what? I didn't know any of that because first of all, I don't drink it. So I don't drink anything but water and wine, even though wine has its own back, whatever. But I don't drink Coke, Sprite, 7-Up, any of those things with carbonate. I don't. But it doesn't mean people should not be drinking it. For me, you do what you want with body. It's difficult to, as you rightfully said about your sister, take the horse there, but they cannot drink. You can preach, but it has to come from within. So thank you for your time, and for those who've been patiently listening to you. If you have any comments and any observation as you were making your notes during Queen JW's presentation, this is the right time for you to go ahead, raise your hand. Dr. Benny is in the house, and she does what she does best. And I'll pass the microphone over to Dr. Benny so she can do what she does best. Thank you so much, Queen JW. Over to you, Dr. Benny.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity. Well, let me call on Queen Dr. T. Could you please proceed?
I think Antoinette was first. I think she had her hand up first.
Oh, okay. All right. Queen Pastor Antoinette, could you please unmute yourself?
I just wanted to say, Queen JW, great presentation, a lot of great information. And I'll tell you, when you were talking about rainwater and all of that, I had seen a video not too long ago talking about the toxins in water, and it showed rainwater even having toxins or these little critters or whatever they are. And I was very surprised to see that. And then it made sense when you were talking about airplanes flying over and the chemicals that come out of them. And, just having to really watch what you put in your body, and no matter how minute or nutritious we think it is. And it's so true about how, our fruits and vegetables and things, and meats, or, other food products, they don't contain the vitamins and minerals and things that they used to. And so, yeah, we're having to go to, supplements and things. But I thank God for you, giving us so much information.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Queen. Pastor Uncle Beck. Oh gosh. Yes, it's truly it's just that we have us brainwashed and have us not focus on the things that we need to focus on, and we get so caught up in just making our daily bread, and we don't get a chance to really look at the things really in a deep sense. But it's going on every day of our lives. It's all about money. But thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Tony. I appreciate it. And thank you so much, Queen JW, for answering her question or, loving her. Thank you. All
Yeah.
right. Our next candidate, you have Queen Dr. T. Ford. Could you please proceed?
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, Queen JW, you know, I just appreciate you so much. I mean, it's just, and you challenge us. You say, "Ouch," is that me? Wow. And you're right. I love this platform because we get a plethora of all this information and knowledge. And like you said, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it.
Yeah.
And last week I talked about habits. And
Yeah.
and you already know, all of us on this platform, we didn't get this way overnight.
Nope.
So I know that and I know that Queen JW is not saying to us, get rid of the habit today. It's not that easy just to drop it. You have to gradually let it out of your system, gradually make up your mind. It's a mindset, as Dr. DrDerrick would say. It's a mindset. And that's your biggest battle right there. Your mind.
Yep, the mind.
Your mind. You gotta change yourself. Don't eat this, don't eat that. And it's not good for you, but it's like an addiction. And I don't know about most women, but I know for me, being a woman, I'm an emotional eater. I eat when I'm up, I eat when I'm down. Just
Yep.
so and all most of you may be able to relate to that. If you're going to be transparent and honest, you may say, Dr. T, I'm guilty of that too. But one of the things I'm doing at JW, and I'm proud to say this, I have been eating the moringa, reviving the moringa.
Yeah.
I just picked
Yeah.
up some moringa tea and the powder from a friend of mine. And so I'm incorporating that into my diet. I have a detox tea, and
Yeah.
it has different things in it that's very good for you. So I'm going to start detoxing my body
Yes.
and make a great effort to start eating properly. But like I said, I know it's not going to happen overnight. Remember, it takes 14 days or more to make a habit, and it takes how many
Yep.
days? 250 to
200.
break
Yep.
the habit. So I'm working it one day at a time. But I appreciate you. We love you. And I mean, you just got it going on. And I really do appreciate you bringing this information to this platform. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to
Thank you
share.
so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ford. We appreciate the information you bring also. And like
Thank
she
you.
said, it's not easy, but let me tell you, every little, what they say, practice make perfect.
Yeah.
So if we practice, if we start eliminating, and you can tell when you start eliminating the bad things, you will know when you pick up the bad things ever, you will know the difference, and you will like, I can't eat that no more. That don't taste right. But if you continue to eat the bad things, you will never know if that is bad. You will continue to eat it because it tastes good. That's what your palate is accustomed of tasting. So one day at a time. It's
Yes.
not easy, but one day at a time. We can do it.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Queen Dr. T, for supporting your friend. No, I appreciate this.
Indeed.
See, that's why we have to work as a family, right?
Yeah.
The love is mutual, right? Thank you. Thank you so much for your support. All right. Does anyone have any other question? Please, if do you have any excitement?
Wonderful, wonderful. Queen Jacqueline is wonderful, wonderful. Queen Jacqueline is, oh mercy, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That topic has rocked the boat. Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love to all our kings and queens in the house. Thank you very much, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny. Really, really appreciate. And thank you very much, Queen Debbie.
I'm
But
not done. I haven't said anything yet.
I know,
When I'm
that's why
good.
I'm trying to jump in before you give your piece. So thank you very much. I'm commenting on JW, of course. Not ready with anything else yet. It's that was oh my goodness. As you said, you can stay on this topic for the rest of the year. Of course, just like cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, you can't stop talking about cyber. We cannot stop talking about cybersecurity. It's really just an ongoing process. Just like how we cannot stop talking about health and wealth. They both work hand in hand for you and I to succeed really properly. Listen, you going to dialysis 3 times a week. How can you go to Disneyland or Disney World? How you going to do that? Unless you maybe have a doctor on call. And I don't think they can do dialysis. It has to be in a controlled environment. So I'm not sure if you can really do a dialysis while you're standing in line to go on the Ferris wheel. I'm not sure. Who to tell them might have that technology very soon. But for the time being, 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's not like you can just do it one shot. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to gallivant or to enjoy yourself. No, they spread it out. They spread it out. I don't know if it's purposely, but they spread it out so that it limits your enjoyment. And when you are finished, you feel so groggy. And that's what I was told. You feel so groggy that you cannot even function. You have to go home and somebody has to be there to take you home. You can't drive yourself. You can't take your worst cannot take the bus or anything like that. So somebody has to take you home. And mostly persons say that they just plop into the bed. No functionality for the rest of the day. Actually, it's the whole day. Because I used to take this friend of mine when I was in Brooklyn. I used to take this friend of mine, and he goes from 10 o'clock in the morning, and I leave him there, and 6, 7 o'clock, him just calling me to come back for him. So I'm like, what you do? What you do the whole day? The whole day? Yes, them hook him up to machine and this and that and what have you. And oh my goodness, it is a chore, right? It is like you're going to work. So it's a whole day process, and you cannot eat anything and all of those things. It don't make any sense. And then persons are going to say, well, we must dead one day. So no matter.
Mhm.
Must dead one day. That is stupidness, stupid kind of talking, right? That is stupidity to the highest level. I must dead one day. So if it doesn't matter. All right, that don't make no sense whatsoever. So let us understand that health is more wealth than money. Health is more wealth than money because you need health to get the money. because because money cannot buy health. You can't buy it. Go to a shop and say, Mr. Melbourne, sell me half pound of wealth, half pound of health. It don't work that way. It doesn't work that way. All right, but wealth, I mean health, can get you wealth because if you are healthy, then you are able to produce. All right, but and so let us concentrate more on the health than the wealth. Well, than the riches, because riches is a part of wealth. Riches is not wealth on its own, right? It's a number of things that combine together that give you the wealth. All right. And one of the main ones is health, right? And so to achieve that, really and truly, you need the proper mindset, right? Um, so thank you very much, uh, Queen Jacqueline Warner. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. That was so awesome. Remember, we are not in Okonek, so there's no resound. There's no emojis going up on the left hand side of the screen. There's nothing like that. So I do apologize for all of that. And hopefully before the month finish, we will have Okonek back again. All right. But thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Derrick. Appreciate you also. Appreciate this platform. Deep dive.
Thank you, Dr. Derrick. Can I get my co-host, please? Anyway.
I did give it to you. You jump
I
out.
know you did, but they threw me out.
Throw you.
I had a problem. Yeah, man.
I'm so sorry. That's what you get with Zoom. All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because I know I gave you as you came in earlier.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You did.
Okay. All right. Cool. Good.
Thank you.
You done.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Derrick, for all your support, supporting Queen JW. I appreciate each and everyone supporting Queen JW. Queen JW, Queen JW, before I proceed, but let me ask, does anyone have any question or any excitement about this particular topic? Like, you guys know that she always come here and talk about health, wealth, that we should be careful with the type of food we eat. Sometimes you brag that I'm eating organic, meanwhile it's not real. Um, and you know that. Anyway, I want to take this special moment to thank each and everyone coming here. You guys, you took your busy time. Instead of you attending other webinars, you decided to come here, maybe to listen to Queen Jacqueline Warner. I want to appreciate each and everyone. And you guys notice that you guys are not showing your face, but our king, Brother Carlton, is always here. And I see his face every day. Tuesdays, Thursdays. And Brother Carlton, I really appreciate you. Thank you for your love and support. Anyway, I want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing you and I this evening, morning, afternoon. It all depends upon your location. I also want to thank him for what he has done. You guys notice what is happening with our visionary. our visionary, he is determined to do what it takes to make you and I happy. The only thing is for us to be patient. That's it. That's all he's saying. Be patient. But those who don't want to be patient, goodbye. This time I will say goodbye because I'm not begging anyone. You guys know I'm passive is my husband, right? And I wanna, for real, I want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing Mr. Ash Muferen to you and I. But most of the time, I always say, the air that you're breathing at the moment, there are people in the hospital who are paying for it. You're not. So when you wake up in the morning, thank Him. At the moment, wherever you are, you thank Him. I'm thanking God for what He has done. God has done a lot. Sometimes I say, hey, Papa, where are you? Hey, Papa, come, let's go. So He will follow me wherever I'm going. He's watching over me and He's watching over you guys as well. I want to thank God. And I want to thank God for Mr. Lazarus. At least I can see your face too. Despite the darkness, wherever you are at your location. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming here to support us. And you are here also to learn. Right, brother? I appreciate you. And I love you with all my heart, mind, and soul. All right, let's go to Queen JW. Queen JW. I don't know how to say it. I know that Queen Debbie always say, you nailed it. Astonishing mindset. There are a lot of things that you brought to us. You make us to understand about dairy product. Most of the time, I wanted to drink the milk. The milk is not really good for my consumption because it's not going to help me. Because what I noticed, it says that milk is going to help me. It's going to keep my bones to be strong and everything. And that's why I try to, well, I don't drink it that much anymore. Because when you drink, something else happens. I won't say it. But, and then you talk about this apple. So it means that I should not eat. Most of the time when you're eating apple, when you buy apple, sometimes we're hungry, we're not washing the skin. But so I have to like clean the skin in order to eat, right?
Yes. You put it in some vinegar and some baking soda and let it soak in that and wash it. Me, I buy a clear soap, a non-toxic soap, and I wash my vegetables. Everything I wash.
Ah,
Yeah.
so are you telling me? Okay. Sorry. Are you telling me that I should use soap to wash my kale because I eat kale every day?
No, you eat it raw?
Yes.
If
You
you eat
don't
it
have
raw,
to use
then
soap.
you just use bicarbonate with that doesn't have aluminum. Okay? The bicarbonate that doesn't have aluminum
You know.
to wash. Bicarbonate. Bicarbonate that doesn't have aluminum to wash with some vegetables.
All right, you might have forgot and come
So
back in.
wash with yeah.
Queen,
Yeah, on things.
Queen Dr.
Okay.
Patience, you're very choppy.
I'm trippy.
Oh, you sound better now. Oh, no, you sound better now. Go ahead now.
Yes. Keep yourself.
Okay, so then
It's still choppy. It's choppy.
what time
as possible. Buy from farmers market, organically grown. If you're not the one growing your fruit, why is it? Okay, maybe I should go out and come back in. I don't know. All right, let me go out and come back in.
Please. All right. Thank you. I mean, as Dr. Pan said, if I can go ahead and plant my own, I don't have a house, but maybe when we start making the money, I will buy my own house and I'll plant my own food. I mean, I'll plant the kale and the rest rather than going out there to buy. Thank you so much, Queen JW. I really appreciate you. Every day or Tuesdays and Thursdays, we come here to learn. All those you guys who are presenting the mindset. I'll be waiting for Dr. Pat because she has something to say.
Am I better now?
Perfect.
Yes.
Proceed, please.
Oh, sorry. Yes, no.
Okay.
I was saying that we're just thanking Queen JW for all the healthy talks. Yeah, and there's a lot of green vegetables that are healthy, but there's a way that we have to prepare them for eating them raw.
Yeah.
Even spinach, you have to actually soak spinach for some time to get away some of the yeah. But what we're saying that you should use bicarbonate. The bicarbonate, not the hammer, not the Arm & Hammer. Arm & Hammer has aluminium. Make sure they buy bicarbonate that's aluminium free. Then use vinegar to wash your fruit and vegetable. What Queen JW is saying too is that if you have a dishing soap that is organic, biodegradable, dishing soap that are made from not from chemicals, you can wash your fruits with as well. The apples, you want to eat the apple back because nutrients are there, but you want to wash away the pesticides. If you look at it, typically you take apple, you touch it sometimes, it's like smooth, slimy,
Oily.
smooth type of, very smooth like that. So by organic, you'll see the difference, to be honest. But by organic, and most of the time, I still wash it. So the berries are the tricky one because they're soft fruits, okay? So that's soaking it a little bit of bicarbonate water to take some of that pesticide is good. They rinse it out. So I don't know why Queen JW talk about nightshade plants. A lot of us know that tomatoes is healthy, correct?
Yeah.
A lot of people eat tomatoes raw.
Yeah.
Yes.
But eating tomatoes raw is not really the best. Go and read about nightshade plant. It has lectins in it.
Yes,
so
it does.
it's better to eat cooked tomatoes than raw one. But if you have to eat it raw, there's a way to prepare it. Or the eggplant, bell peppers, all those one have lectins. Beans is very healthy, but it's a good way to prepare your beans, correct? You have to soak it to get the lectins out and then cook it. Lectins, heat kills lectins, but it's good to eat raw. So to eat raw, just check some of this you might need to cook. Like stir fry it, saute it so that you don't overcook your vegetables as well, right? So you just have to look at them. If they're nightshade, maybe you have to do a little bit of heat on it to eat it. Yes, Dr. Benny, if you have to wash your fruit, wash your apple if you want to eat the back. So it's good, the back is good for you, or you peel the back off. Especially apples. If you really buy organic and non-organic apple, you see the non-organic is smooth. That's the spray, the fruit. Thanks for the help. Talk, guys. Trust me. Some of us know what to do and we're just lazy to do it. But coming here, reinforcing that, make us start taking it serious. And I know Dr. Derrick will say, don't eat any meat, don't eat any of those. But for those that have to eat it, buy the one that have not been grown with antibiotics. Buy the organic. Yes, corn these days. Corn was a healthy grain, but now corn has been messed up, right?
Yes, it's
so unfortunately, corn has been messed up now. Corn was a very healthy grain, but now corn is really messed up because they've made it to make oil. So now corn started getting problems.
because they're growing in to be oily, so you can make corn oil from it. So, well, we have just to watch out what we're doing. Because I heard Dr. Derrick say you don't want to go to Disney where you have to call a doctor to come and do your dialysis. Right? You have to do dialysis 3 times a day, 3 times a week. How can you go away
I'm
for
telling you,
vacation?
you can't go nowhere.
So if you want to go any vacation, you have to call and make sure there's the doctor there that will see you as you're coming out of the plane. So let's pray that we'll take these lessons. Some of us never used to drink any kind of juice, even when it's pressed. But if you're freshly squeezing your juice, it's good for you because it depends what you want to do. Get it to your cellular height. So so what I'm saying, there's a place of juice, there's a place of smoothies, and the place of eating the fruit whole.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, there's a place for your juice, there's a place for your smoothie, there's a place for eating it full. So you cannot just go on juicing, you cannot just go on smoothie, you have to do all 3.
Yes.
Because some people say, oh, I'm eating only smoothie. Okay, nonsense. So we have to really understand the balance of this healthy eating.
Yeah, you have to eat.
Sorry if I have come and derailed the talk.
No, you
Yeah.
didn't. You added some good information.
Yes, so
Dr. Patience.
let's just keep doing the best that we can do. If you can watch anything with a little bit of the bicarbonate, the one without aluminum. Therefore, us that do a lot of baking, I see a lot of us using these aluminum trays and so on. Please get stainless steel baking pans. Stainless steel. Or
And
glass.
you use foil paper.
Or glass. Or you use parchment paper. Aluminum is not really good for your exposure with heat. Let's really start cooking with the right cooking utensil. All right then. I love you all. Let's stay healthy. Health is money. Health is what? Health is health. Health is
life.
All right. To tell the truth, you guys don't really understand. By you guys attending webinars, you learn more. It is very crucial. People don't understand. Brother Lazarus, you understand, right? Thank you, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Queen JW, we appreciate you. Dr. P, thank you so much for everything. We all love you.
Amen.
All right.
Thank you too. Queen.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. I want to thank each and everyone. I want to thank you all for your contribution. So at this moment, I'm going to hand it over to Queen Debbie. If Queen Debbie is around, if not, Dr. Derrick.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Queen Debbie is around and was around.
Perfect.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who has spoken prior to Dr. Benny, Dr. Patience, Dr. Derrick, Queen JW, Dr. T, Queen Tony. Thank you all who've spoken, and keep smiling, Dr. Benny. Thank you. Thank you for representing everyone who does not have their camera on, including me. Guilty as charged. All right. Queen JW, prepare part 4 and 5, huh? For this.
Yes, indeed.
I don't want to be sick, so help us to stay healthy and no more sickness. So we're going to turn over to our one and only brother. Without him, we will not have this platform. There's several platforms that he supports, tons of them, behind the scenes, one way or another, with his knowledge in audiovisual. We are so privileged to have him to be the one guiding us on this platform. And today, Dr. Derrick is the one who will talk to us on how to choose wealth. Thank you, Dr. Derrick, for all the training that you've been providing us from one area of our lives to another. Either it benefits us directly or indirectly through others. We appreciate you and we thank you. So over to you, Dr. Derrick.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Peace, blessings, and enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love to all of uno. Okay. Thank you again very much, Queen Debbie. Really appreciate it. And of course, thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner. That was awesome, awesome presentation, really. And so, as we lean over to choose wealth, the only way to choose wealth is that one, we need to have the right mindset. Have to have the right mindset. Yes, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, have to have the right mindset. So get that into your head. Got to have the right mindset. And especially if you're a believer in creation, then God created us to be living eternally. Now, why do I say that? If you look at your body, you'd recognize that we don't plug into anything. We don't plug into the outlet every evening after we come in from work. We have to plug into the outlet, or we have to stop at the gas station and get some gas. No, we don't have to do that. We are self-sustaining through God. Whether you believe in God, yes, or you believe in God, no. It doesn't matter. God has to be the one that sustains us. Because anyhow the oxygen in the air were to be moved, everybody drop dead like fly. And who provide that oxygen? God. Oh yes, we're going to say some kind of scientific ray and mumbo jumbo and what have you. Fine. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, that's okay. But all the scientific mumbo jumbo that you want to talk about, who provide it to get the oxygen? God. Okay? And of course, he put together a system for us in place for us to always have that oxygen, right? And so let us understand that without God, whether you believe or you don't believe, that's okay. But without God, there would be no life. Let me say that again. Without God, there will be no life. So therefore, and as I said, whether you believe it or you don't believe it, if you want to believe that you come from an explosion, then fine, then you believe that, right? Because nobody in their rightful mind will go to a junkyard and pick up all the necessary parts to create a car or to build a car and put it in the back of the yard and get a couple stick of dynamite or some, plastic explosive and set it and blow it. And out of that big explosion, you get a brand spanking new BMW or a brand spanking new Audi. No, it doesn't work that way. Somebody with a very creative mind have to come together with their creative juices going and design that car, and then some creative person build it. And that is how we get everything on this planet, by creating it. So, therefore, my conclusion is that there have to be a master creator that created us all. Very simple, very straightforward. Don't have to get into no, atomic and atom and this and that and that. No, a loving God that want a relationship created us and formed that relationship with us. And unfortunately, we didn't want that relationship and we threw it back in his face. But he still come after us and died for us so that we can have life. That's because that's what it's originally about, having life. Having life forever. And you see, that is something that you and I cannot even wrap our minds around. We can't. It's impossible. Living forever, forever and ever. How old are you? 2,000 years old. What? How old are you? 1,425,000 years old. What? We, we can't see those numbers because we are struggling to even live to 40. Struggling to live to 20. Struggling to even born. Some of us, some people died in their mother's womb. So we struggle for life. So it's hard to fathom living for any long period of time, much less forever. But, and that is why you and I need to read, because that is where it's at. It is in reading that we gain knowledge and understanding. And so, the first book that you and I need to read is the Word. That's it. The first book you and I need to read to get the knowledge and the wisdom that we need for this life, living on earth, and for the life to come. And we're not talking about, in any purgatory, and we're not talking about that. Because originally, God wants us to live forever. He wants us to live forever. And so because he wants us to live forever, he made us so uniquely that we don't have to be plugged into anything. He made us so that our body can take care of itself. And that is why when you get a cut, if you just wash it off with some water and you don't put any dressing on it, no dressing, no plaster, no nothing, maybe cover it with maybe like a piece of cloth, or yes, with a little plaster, so that it don't get no germs in there. But if you don't put any medication on that cut, rest assured that that cut will heal, unless you have some kind of sickness with your blood or something like that. And your blood cannot clot, or things like that. But we're not talking about that. We're just talking about a normal person, everything running fairly good. That cut will heal. And so therefore, let us read. Start with the Word, the King James Version. Let's start with the Word. That's the nearest thing to the original, the King James. Start to read. Another book that I would recommend is Cash Flow Quadrant. Cash Flow Quadrant. So you can understand the difference between a rich dad and a poor dad, because that was what Robert Kiyosaki had to deal with. He had two dads, and no, we're not talking about that funny thing. His friend's dad was a rich dad, and his best friend dad was a rich dad, and his dad was the poor dad, right? And so those two persons was very personal in his life. Read that book. It's another very good book. Show you the difference between how a poor people think and how a rich person think. All right. You can look at, oh, sorry. That was cash flow quadrant. Oh, my bad. Cash flow quadrant. It tells you, same Robert Kiyosaki, it tells you the four different ways to earn. Whether you're employed, self-employed, a business owner, or an investor, or a founder. Shows you and tells you how intricate those four ways of earning income is. And then of course you have as I said, you have rich dad, poor dad, right? His two dad. One is his best friend's dad, and one is his own dad. And his own biological dad was poor, and his best friend dad was rich. And it kind of show you the difference between the two. Another good book to read is Think Big. Think Big. Dr. Ben Carson. Think Big. And some of us thinking too small. We don't want to elevate ourselves further than where we are, right? Your circumstances now, hey, it's just circumstances. You can elevate out of your circumstances, right? Think and Grow Rich. Another very, very good book. Secret of the Millionaire Mind. Another very good book. And Who Moved My Cheese? And there are many other books. Most of what I'm going to say, however, this evening,
I think them be busy and me man. I think it's one on the chest place here. I'm gonna go right there. They will take mess with this one. I don't know how to wind them.
Dr. Patience, right? The one that I'm going to share mostly out of this evening is The Millionaire Next Door. So, first of all, do you dream of being fabulously wealthy? And also, don't worry about money. Do you ever wonder what others have done to build wealth? Would you be surprised to learn that many people that you think are rich, maybe they are drowning in debt, but it's just a show that they put. Let me share 12 rules to becoming a millionaire. First, earn more than you spend. A lot of person, unfortunately, let me go here, right? A lot of person, they earn more, they earn less, and they spend more than what they earn. And that is where credit card come into play. They put all sort of frivolous thing on a credit card and run themselves in debt. And that is not good. Regardless of how much money you make, if you never save anything out of it. So if you are making $1 million a month and you are spending $1.2 million a month. So what I mean? And so it doesn't really matter how much you earn. It matters how much you save, right? You will never build any sustainable amount of wealth if you are spending more than you earn, right? I was in a webinar the other day, and I even said this. I think I said this here already, but let me say it again for those who didn't hear it. There was a person, James, that made 150,000 a year, and at the end of the year, every year, he's in the red, minus red. And there's another person, Jim, that he makes $50,000 a year. But at the end of every year, he's in the green at maybe 5 to 10,000 every year. Who you think is wealthy? Most of us would want to lean towards the man because we don't know what he has, so to speak. So most of us would lean to the person making 150,000 and wish if we could make it at least 150,000 a year. But unfortunately, the man that was making $50,000 a year, that is a man that is actually wealthy, so to speak. And so it's not just what you earn, but it's how you manage what you earn. And so earn more than you spend. Very important. A lot of persons, even though they might be earning 150 or 200,000 a year, they're still living paycheck to paycheck. It's hard to wrap your mind around that. But you would say that, oh my, if I was making 150K a year, then oh my goodness, I would be good and I would be set. But no, because if you have the same mentality, the same mindset, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, if you have the same mindset that get you into any hole, you're not going to get out of that hole, even if you're earning more, right? So the mindset is very, very important. Limit your exposure to bad debt. Limit your exposure to bad debt. A lot of persons do not have a checklist or, what's the word I want? They don't have um, a list of what they earn and how much they are spending. A budget. Budget is a word. Thank you. A budget. A lot of persons don't follow a budget. Write down all the things that you spend for. If you have to go to the barber, your oil change, your gas, if you have car, your bus ticket, if you take the bus, your taxi fare, if you take taxi. Write down all of these things that you spend money on. Of course, food. People also maybe look at food, rent, mortgage, light bill, phone bill, gas bill if they have gas, and internet. And that's it. They don't take into consideration that your car run on gas or electric. So you have to think of that or put that also in the budget. We don't think of even groceries because a lot of us just go to the supermarket, pick up a few things, and out the door. And then the following day or following 2 days, we go to the supermarket again, pick up a few more things, and then again 2 days or a day after, they're doing the same thing again. I remember my parents, especially my mother, with just three of us, single mother, because my father died early, when I was a little boy. And so she only go to the supermarket once a week. Once a week. Lenap Supermarket or John or Wang, for those who remember those supermarket. But just once a week, right? She did not go any other time. And we don't go to the shop. We don't go to shop. None of us go to the shop and buy half a bread and a stick of butter. No. One day for the week, supermarket, that's it. So if we guzzle down the food and waste the food and throw away the food because we don't want it, then we're going to get hungry by the time it reaches Thursday. Because it's one day a week. So and that was at that time, that was Saturday. Only Saturdays, supermarket. So therefore, nothing could be wasted. And we learn to ensure that our little cornflakes, especially those lovely things, and those things serve us throughout the week. So therefore, limit your exposure to bad debt. Don't take a credit card and spend on frivolous things. All right, make sure it is something important. Although some frivolous things is important for some people. At first, a small amount of credit card debt may not seem like a big deal. However, with sky high interest rates, credit card debt has a way of spiraling out of control. And so pay keen attention to that, especially if you are taking on this debt while still fully employed. If you continue to carry credit card debt, more and more of your income will go into addressing that credit card debt. 3, be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. What do we mean by that? The rich got rich during both the financial crisis and the coronavirus pandemic. That is when a lot of these companies got wealthy. Take, for instance, Zoom. When did Zoom get more money than what's his name again? Um, uh, Something another Huan. I think is Jack Huan or something like that. It's in the corona pandemic when everybody had to stay home. People wanted a way to communicate, and one of the major ways was the Zoom platform. Those who could face their fears and continue investing during what was expected to be a one in a lifetime sale on stock have made out like bandits. So those were the persons, and the greedy here, don't take it in a bad way, right? It's just that persons excel when everybody else was fearful to do so, because everybody during the pandemic was drawing in them shell and don't want anything to do with the outside world, so to speak, right? And so, but that is when a lot of persons invested and did things and so on, and you know, they were uplifting themselves financially when everybody was timid and don't want to do anything. Number 4, build wealth. Don't just try to look rich. And that's what a lot of people do. Yes, they might be earning a little more, as maybe quite possible the person who earning the 150K a year. Yeah, a lot more bling bling that you can get with that. But the man that was just earning the 50K a year, I guess you would live a humble, little life, maybe a one or maybe a two or a, you know, 2 bedroom if him can, deal with that, or maybe a 3 bedroom, for him and his family, and so on, you know, um, and save as much as he can save. Be rich. Don't just look rich. Some people live a glamorous life with glamorous house, glamorous cars, and all those things, and a whole lot of bling bling and chain and watches and whole closet full of shoes and clothes that you never wear still have the tags on them. Don't make sense. All right, that don't make sense. So let us have that mindset from now, right? So let us have that mindset. That is the most important thing where wealth is concerned. It's not about just accumulating things that the neighbor can see that you have accumulated all of this stuff and oh, right, yes, uh, no, it's that's not really very important for people to see that quite possibly you are rich, but let us be wealthy. Don't let people see that you are rich, but be wealthy. I hope we get that one. Number 5, take steps to increase health span and plan to live forever. Just what I was speaking about a while ago. Take steps to increase health span and plan to live forever. Because that's what we were created for. And thank you very much again, Queen Jacqueline Warner. That is, if you live long enough and do most things right financially, anyone can become a millionaire. The challenge may be being able to keep building wealth over time, investing time and energy into increasing your health span. The time that you are healthy rather than just alive will allow you to work longer and more efficiently to stay on the track to become who you really want to be. So let us choose to increase our health span. Yes, I said this already, that there are just five blue zone. And if you remember what a blue zone is, blue zones are 5 areas in this world, just five little areas in this world where people live over 100 without health conditions, health problems, health situation. And so it's not just Bible days, because people love to say, oh, that those are people back in the Bible. No, people today, right now, is living a healthy longevity, exceeding 100 years old, without any headache and belly ache and Dr. Bill and all of those things. People are living good, healthy lives. So they don't have to be paying this Dr. Bill and so on and what have you, because of the bad treatment that you are treating yourself. Because you're doing it to yourself, and then when you're sick, you bawl to God that, oh, why God doing this to me? God not doing anything to you. You made a choice to do it. You made a choice. You made a choice to live contrary to the manual. What is the manual? The first book that you need to read, the Bible. That's the manual. Just like how you buy a brand new spanking car, or even if you buy a second hand. For the first time, you're going to read the manual. You're going to try to make sure you know what oil to put in there, or you ask your car dealer, or you ask the person who is going to service your car, right? And the right oil is put in there, etc., etc. The right gas is put in there to make the car run optimal. But yet still, we don't want to do that to our bodies. We want to put anything in our body, live any way with our bodies, and expect that our bodies must give us the maximum performance. It doesn't work that way. It is going to deteriorate more rapidly. So let us really, really take note of especially this number 5, that you need to take steps to increase health span. Yes, all right, you must die one day. But why not live abundantly for the few years that you have? Why live in pain? Why live in suffering? Why live in, constantly going to visit the doctor for this reason or the other? Why are you doing that? No, you don't have to. And I am a living testimony. I've been living the way of the Bible that God said in His Word in Genesis, not in Leviticus. A lot of people start talk about Leviticus and what to eat, what flesh to eat, and what flesh not to eat. I don't reach Leviticus, because Leviticus is after sin. So I don't want to know what happened after sin. I want to know what happened to man before sin. And what happened to man before sin is what is stated in Genesis 1:29. Nuts, grains, fruits, tree of life. And that is why those men lived to 900 and plus. Adam, Methuselah, all of those men, 900 years old plus. No, because we are struggling to even live to 40. We see we cannot, those are fictitious numbers. Those are those haphazard numbers that are throw in the Bible. No, because before the flood, men were experiencing a plant-based Garden of Eden type of diet. There was no flesh in the flesh pot. Flesh was first introduced at the flood. At the flood. So let us understand that health is one of the most important aspects of wealth. So I will pause here and maybe give us the rest next week. And because the time has been far spent. So remember, the information that I am presenting is coming out of this book, The Millionaire Next Door. Let us understand that when we read, that is when we gain knowledge. When we read, we gain knowledge. Gain the knowledge from persons who have been there before and done that before, so that we don't have to be tripping over, the knowledge that we don't have now, because men and women has already gone there and done that before us. So I thank you very much. Really appreciate. And I hope that this information really help us to really take stock of ourselves and bring our mind to the mindset that we need to move forward for the next few years that we have on the face of this earth. We thank you very much for your kind attendance and listening to this presentation. I will now turn it back over to Queen Debbie.
Oh my goodness. Dr. Derrick, let me start by thanking St. Andrew for giving you the backbone of what you are today. Without St. Andrew sharing you with us, we wouldn't be here. Thank you very much. That was just, I don't even know where to begin. I'm not going to say, because if I say you nailed it, it's just an understatement of what I just listened to. And to believe that the billionaire that I know is living next door, that is you. You're living next door and you just shared that experience with us. And this is something that is very difficult to train somebody or to train others to believe. And you succeeded in making those of us who are listening now, those who will be listening in future, and those who may be listening on YouTube. This is something that you could not, even that textbook, the additional information, you not get it from there. The little things that we know do not count, they do count. Those little things, the credit card aspect of it, people do not realize what it means. But yet, you have just gotten it from your boss's mouth. And I know when he started talking, you were making notes, you were watching the slides that he had. Dr. Derrick is the best teacher we have in Unpassive, in my opinion. I'm sorry, maybe it's because it's family, I'm being biased, but there's nothing wrong with that. So if you have questions, Dr. Benny is here. We work as a team. Did our first thing by making sure that every question and every comment is well respected. So thank you all our viewers and listeners. Just continue to hang on because we're moving to questions and discussions on Dr. Derrick's outstanding presentation. Thank you once more, Dr. Derrick, and over to you, Queen Dr. Benny.
Thank you so much, Queen Debbie. I appreciate you. And I believe that Queen Tony, you raise your hands first. Perfect. Unmute yourself and share your excitement.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Dr. Derrick, excellent presentation. A lot of great information concerning wealth and how we should be building it and behaving in it. The books and the resources that you had given, I plan to further educate myself by reading them, and I thought that was a really great presentation and a lot of information. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, you are most definitely welcome. Really appreciate it, Queen Tony. Thank you very much for your kind words.
All right. Thank you so much, Tony. We appreciate your support. King Lazarus, could you please unmute yourself and share us your excitement, or if you have any question? Dr. Derrick is here for you. Can you unmute yourself, sir? No. Okay, unmute him. Dr. Derrick, let's see if we can unmute him. He wants to unmute himself, but it seems as if he cannot. All right. Queen, Dr. T, you can proceed while we wait for him.
Okay. Excellent presentation, Dr. Derrick. Praise. You know, just so thought provoking. I mean, all the information that you've given us tonight, you know, we probably know, but sometimes we just need to have it put in our face, like right in your face. Like you said, okay, I know you say you know this, but now it's time to put it into practice. And in fact, I do have a few of those books that you mentioned, you know, so I'm going to go back and pull them out of my library and read them again and digest them. You know what I'm saying? So I really do appreciate your presentation and just being so concerned about our well-being. And that's what it is. You're concerned about our well-being. I thank you for this platform. And this is truly deep dive. We're diving into the depth of learning how to become the best version of ourselves. And everyone who does present on this platform, you know, I am grateful to all of you. All of you. So thank you so much, Dr. Derrick. I really do appreciate you. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Dr. T. Also, really appreciate. You see, the mind is a wonderful thing, and that is why even the neurosurgeons find it very fascinating. The mind is very fascinating, and the mind can will you to be sick, and it can will you to be healthy. So the mind is that powerful. It's very powerful, you know, just a little matter that is a few pounds. And yet still it controls so much of everything that happens to our body. Actually, it controls everything, not so much. It controls everything that happens. So let us really pay more attention to our mind, what we put in our mind, what we feast upon, and that sort of thing. Because the more you feast upon junk, is the more you're going to be having the problem to dig yourself out of that hole, right? So let us really put some more emphasis on building our mind. Thank you very much, Queen Dr. T.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. T, for your support. We appreciate you. And the person we're waiting for, he is ready for us. King Lazarus, proceed, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I just want to thank God for this family, particularly those of you who are resource persons, Dr. Derrick, yourself, and our MC, my sister Debbie. Is that Debbie? Right. I want to appreciate you all. And I want to say that Dr. Derrick has done good job with this topic. And I was ready to go with him another 1 hour for him to finish the 12 points or 14 points he was ready to give us. But I'm surprised that it's short. It just closed at 5. It was so interesting that if we had gotten the whole points today, it would have been a very, very useful exercise for us to continue to revise and then make sure by next time we go into a very new, different field. Thank you, nevertheless. And I am really, really satisfied with this topic because I needed it so much. But having said that, I just have a little question. And this is with the first point he made, that some people earn more than they spend. No, they spend more than they earn. And at the end of the year, such people become negative in their accounts. And those that earn more than they spend, they may earn little, but at the end of the year, they have great balances. My question is this: assuming somebody runs red every year, and then in a few years after that, you find out that this person that is running red every year, red every year, comes up with a property or an asset that when you sum up the number of years he has been going on red, you find out that he is now, in credit. How do we assess such a person? What do we say about such lifestyle? It is a lifestyle of the person that, look, I don't care what happens at the end of the year, but I have a target of about 2 or 3 years time. I must have a property that I can depend upon. And from that point in time, it still continues to run red. But like the property I'm talking about now, it appreciates. It adds in value from year to year. And so from there to perpetuity, the property begins to appreciate, yet he's still living without savings. What do we say about such? I don't know if you get me.
Well, I would not know what to say about, because a person can come into a windfall by any means, and that is what we're going to be also touching on next week. A person can come into a windfall um, and get some, by whether they might marry someone, right? Whether they might marry someone who is wealthy, never can tell, or have some little money, never can tell. Maybe they receive an inheritance, you never can tell. There's so many ways of getting into some funds that it just happens, right? They might find out that they have a unique talent and go out there and do it, and bam, it explodes. You never know. There's so many things and so many ways. Um, they might put a $5 on a winning ticket on the lotto, boom, and you never know. So I couldn't I couldn't speak specifically. That person would have to speak specifically as to how he, got into that little money. But then it's now what you do with it. Because if you don't have the proper mindset, then after a while, because can you imagine a person winning $314 million Powerball, and within 3 years, you don't have anything to show? You're worse off than actually end up committing suicide. His children died over drug overdose. His daughter and his son, and his wife left him, and they mash up, and you win 314 million, and you go downhill instead of going up. The mindset. If we don't have the right mindset, and that is what we are doing here in on passive, is trying to ensure that we all have the right mindset, so that when that funds come, we will be able to use it properly, not only for our advantage, but for the advantage of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Over to you, Queen Dr. Benny.
Dr. Ben? Dr. Ben? Dr. Benny, are you here?
Dr. Benny once, Dr. Benny twice. All right. Wonderful. And so it happens. And so if there's no other hands, then I think at this time we will turn it over to Queen Debbie to close and get into our after party.
And Debbie, proceed, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Derrick. Thank you, Brother Lazarus. You always come with wonderful questions. And thank you, Queen Dr. Benny. We appreciate you and we thank you for your continuous everything that you do. Very much. We appreciate you. So we also appreciate all our viewers, those who are currently watching live and those who will be watching in future. This is a regular webinar that we hold here every Tuesday and Thursday. Rain or shine, we are here. We have other sister webinars that we also would encourage you to go to, because everyone is very unique in its way, and Deep Dive is unique as all the others. On Wednesdays, we have Empowering Humanity by Julie Clear. And on Thursday, we have Old Fashioned Singapore, Malaysia in mornings. And on Sundays, we have the Dream Team, which is a combination of all of these forums, including the Niger Forum as well. So please do not forget to join us again next time. And we're going to say goodbye to you for now, as we're moving to the next segment of the webinar, which is the after party. Thank you. Thank you so much. Blessings. Queen Nadu, welcome.